Thanks for joining me today. The purpose of this video is going to be giving a Odoo 101, kind of teaching the basics of the system, some core functionality, so you have a good baseline understanding of what Odoo is and how it functions. If you're exploring this or evaluating it for your business or just for general knowledge. So what I've done here is gone into a demo database of Odoo. That's why we're told by this banner right up here. A few things I like to point out right on this home screen is that, as you can see, it's actually all browser based. I'm just in a Chrome tab right now. So this means Odoo is accessible anytime, anywhere. Now this screen size is fit to the display that I'm on right now, but if you were on a tablet or your phone or on the go, it will change to the size that is needed for your device. So Odoo is very accessible. That's the first thing I want to point out. The next couple things is right now you can see that I have quite a few applications installed. We actually offer over 60 different applications, each having their own core functionality related to the system. And the beauty of Odoo as an ERP is that all these applications speak to each other in a fully integrated one platform system. So if you'd like to see other applications that Odoo offers, we can go right down here. And here's a complete list breakdown of all of our different applications. If I wanted to install other ones, I can simply hit that down here. Over here in the top right-hand side of the screen, we're going to see some of the pulled together elements that are going to be on this home page. So right here we see a link to our internal Discuss application. Now, this is internal communication between employees and users in the system. So if you wanted to chat with other people, if you wanted to create new messages or group chats, or even have channel posts for announcements and things along those lines, you can also see a complete breakdown of that list right here in the Discuss application, while this is just kind of a shortcut that's accessible. The next, in similar fashion, is actually our internal to-do list right here. Now this is going to be pulling information right from the to-do application that I'm hovering over now. But this breaks down every activity that we have scheduled, whether that's late, whether that's due today, or coming in the future. It's interactive as well, and this is one of the main things that I love about this internal to-do list, is that you could simply click onto these applications where you need to perform these activities, and it'll automatically pull that up for you. So no extra time is needed in order to search for those activities. The wrench button here is Odoo Studio. I'll highlight what Studio does in a few minutes. And right here under your profile icon is where you get access to Odoo documentation and support, as well as manage your subscription and billings. Let's dive into the Contacts application, and I'll highlight a few core features of this application. Now, I like to think of Contacts as a hub from which a lot of other actions take place in Odoo. As mentioned previously, as a fully integrated system, Odoo pulls information from one area in the system and brings it into all other areas. This actually completely takes away the need for dual entry or lots of manual labor put in to really redo work that was already previously done. So I'll just highlight some of that throughout this application. Currently, we're in the list view of Odoo. You're going to notice this purple highlighted button. That's going to be a consistent feature as we explore some of these other applications as well. But this is Odoo's next suggested action. This is the action button. Now it's prompting us to create a new contact here in our system because we're in the Contacts application. You're also going to see a search bar right here. Now this is a very robust filtering tool, also a consistent feature in most of the applications within Odoo. We're going to highlight some of the functionality of that in a few minutes here, but just know that this is a very robust filtering tool and allows you to centralize all of your contacts in one place, no matter what kind of contact they are, because of this filtering tool. You've already probably noticed, but there are a couple different view changes on the right-hand side of the screen. While we are in list view right now, which has its own benefits, things like mass actions for multi-selection. So let's say you want to send an email to 3 different people, not a full list, or you could select the full list. You can go up here to actions. You could export all this information, insert it into a spreadsheet. You could even archive and unarchive material within Odoo for visibility purposes, or you could send an email. So this allows for mass actions right from here. Or my personal favorite is toggling what information is presented to you. So maybe I don't care about the email and the phone number. Maybe I just want to see the address of this company. I could select anything related to that. If they have the address set up, I could set that as well. And now I have all that information presented to me simply by toggling the checkboxes. For the purpose of this overview and Odoo 101, I'm going to actually go into the Kanban view of Odoo. This pulls up contact card views. Now, what it looks like when we dive into these contact cards, let's go into AKA Foster. We see not only a profile picture, but we can see that this contact is even toggled by person in comparison to toggled by company. Now, this is an important feature because you can actually relate different contacts to each other and to other businesses. So it's not going to be confusing at all for you. You might be working with one other business or one other contact that has 3 or 4 associated contacts to them. You could simply add them as associated contacts right down here to keep all of that communication centralized. Now you're going to also notice that we don't have a whole lot of information filled out for AKA Foster here, but we do have an email associated. We could change all of this information as needed, no problem. One other thing I wanted to highlight was the tags. Now, as I mentioned, our filtering tool is very robust, and a huge piece of that is the ability to add and take away tags on different contacts. So for example, if I wanted to create a tag that says test, you just hit create there. If there was already a previous tag with that name, Odoo would recognize that and prompt us to enter that. But I'm just going to save our page with this new tag test. Now, when I use our breadcrumbs and go backwards, and I say, hey, I want to search, use this robust filtering tool, what can it accomplish for me? I could actually just search test. I could search with different categories. I'm going to search by tag because I know that's a tag that I added. And every single tag that is popped up for the word test will pull up that associated contact card. And now we see AKA Foster pulled up right here. Now that we're clicked back into it, you probably noticed the right-hand side of the screen here. And I want to explain what the chatter does. The chatter is digital documentation of a lot of the actions that take place related to this contact. One thing that Odoo does very well is actually streamlines communication and saves so much time for businesses on a daily basis because of this. We integrate directly with Gmail and with Outlook, and that allows for email communication to streamline directly through this chatter right here in the contacts application, or likewise in the CRM or project management or sales. All those have their own chatter lines as well for communication. For example, if I wanted to send an email to AKA Foster, I see that I do have a test email set up. I could actually hit send message. Now, while I could send a quick message right here and just say test, you'll see it log here in green. Maybe emails are a little bit more elaborate. Maybe you want to be more formal. So let me redo that. Instead of just sending an email like that, which I did, I could actually expand this view. And now we see that we could actually add different people to this email chain. We could change the subject. We could add different content as well as have commands that pop up. This is important to note. A couple other things, we can easily add attachments right down here. You can insert links, no problem. You can actually schedule a sending of the email as well. But one thing I want to highlight is we could actually save and manage our templates here as well. So Odoo allows you to manage any templates that you have saved so that you can actually streamline that communication, especially if you're reaching out to many different opportunities or leads in your pipeline. The chatter is not only useful for external communication, but also on the internal side of things as well. Not only can you log a note similar to how we did this for the email that was delivered, but logged notes can actually mention people as well. So for example, if I wanted somebody to be aware of this contact and say, hey, check this out, I could just hit the @ symbol. And I'm going to say @ John Doe, check this out. When I log this note, John Doe will actually be notified that he has been tagged in the chatter of this contact card, allowing him to click one link and be taken directly here. In a similar fashion, adding followers to different opportunities, to different sales orders is a great way to allow managers to have access to everything that you're doing, all the actions that are taking place in relation to that contact or that sale order or that opportunity. You could simply add them as followers right here. The last thing I'd like to point out in the chatter is going to be the activities button. Now I highlighted the breakdown of what the to-do list activities are, but where do you schedule them and how do they work? This is actually exactly where we could schedule some of that right here in the chatter. So when I hit activity, it'll actually prompt me to create a new activity. and to type in what kind of activity I want to do, as well as give it a specific summary or give a specific note. I can even assign it to different people and change the date. Let's say I want to talk to AKA Foster on the phone maybe a week from now. I can select it as a call. I can select my due date for a week from today's date, and I can say, give AKA a call. Then when I save it, you'll see it right here in the chatter. In 7 days, I have to give AKA a call, and it'll remind me on that day. So when I log in the morning, it'll be right here in my to-do list. Now, once that activity is completed, I can mark it as done, write any kind of feedback associated, and then complete it. Now that'll log right here, allowing me to easily reflect on which actions have been taken place previously in relation to this contact. Now, the final thing that I'd like to mention during this Odoo 101 is going to be the smart buttons. I won't dive too far into this, but just know that these are shortcuts in the Odoo system that are going to be really helpful to save you a lot of time as you go throughout many different applications related to Odoo and the integration behind those applications. Smart buttons are a huge core piece, so we'll highlight that in a following video. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.